Peace be with you. I was asked to make a video comparing the similarities between the Bible and the Quran, and unfortunately it's going to take a lot more than just one video because there's so many similarities. Muslims and Christians have so much more in common that they differ in that they should be natural friends. Whoever read both the Bible and the Quran would quickly realize this. So I'm just going to start with some similarities, and then I'm just going to try to keep these videos between 4 and 5 minutes long, and it's going to take several videos to go through all of this. So the first similarity is between sincerity in putting things what we learn into practice. In Matthew 7, verses 24 to 27, we're told, "Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on a rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash." So, in Matthew 7, verses 24 to 27, Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, tells us that whoever hears these words and puts them into practice has built a foundation for himself. And whoever hears these words but doesn't do it is just fooling himself, and he's going to crash and burn. In the Quran says exactly the same thing. In the 9th chapter of the Quran, verse 109, we're told, "Is he then therefore better who lays his foundation on fear of God, on reverence of God, and his good pleasure, or he who lays his foundation on the edge of a cracking, hollowed bank, so it broke down with him into the fire of hell, and God does not guide the unjust people." So it's exactly like very, very similar to what Prophet Jesus said in Matthew 7. Then in in the chapter 45 of the Quran, verses 7 and 8, we're told, "Woe to every sinful liar who hears the communication of God recited to him, then persists proudly as though he had not heard them." So they don't do what they hear, right? Exactly like a man who builds his house on the cliff edge. So announce to him a painful punishment. Then in the 25th chapter of the Quran, verse 73, when the servants of the Most Gracious, when the servants of God are described, one of their characteristics is, "And those who, when they are reminded of the communications of their Lord, do not act as if they were blind and deaf." So that is the first similarity, right? We are all supposed to do what God told us to do and be sincere in doing it. And that is what God demands from both Christians and from Muslims. The second similarity is on honesty and keeping our word, right? So God expects us to be people of our word, not to be liars, not to be cheats, not to be, those kinds of people. So whatever we say we're going to do, we're expected to do if we are servants of God. Whether you call yourself a Christian or a Muslim, this is what is expected of us. In the 61st chapter of the Quran, verses 2 and 3, we are told, "O you who believe, why do you say that which you do not do? Most hateful to God is that you should say that which you do not do. Keep your word." And then what does Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, say to his people in Luke chapter 6, verse 46? He says, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do what I say?" It's like, what is your problem? Why are you calling me a Lord? Why are you even venerating me, and you're not even doing what I say? You're not keeping your word. So that is the second similarity. So I'm going to end this video here. So this is the first video in a series of videos, and in the second video I'm going to give a couple more examples. Peace be with you.